All right, we should be good to go. All right, and all right. Let's see. A king's feast of ass. Let's be real. As much as you enjoy your new friends, they all seem a little lonely. Like maybe they don't have any friends besides the one they talk to online. Is online friendship a reasonable alternative to a more traditional face-to-face friendship? Are relationships, and dare you say, families that you choose not just as important? If not more so than those you are able to touch and feel? Damn, maybe being a little too real. You decide not to think about it too hard. But if you're being honest with yourself, maybe you aren't terribly interested in the greater context of found family and interpersonal relationships in the instant message era. You got a fever, and the only cure for this disease called friendship is to mildly inconvenience a few teenagers. As much of a delight as it's been to make a young boy's face his existential future, rob a woman of her booze stash, and then self-reflect about the value of contextual relationships, it's all felt a little heavy-handed. His existential future. That means we did the bad end for John, or at least that's what we're continuing. This game want to be the next Ed and Eddie so bad. What you need is an emotional palate cleanser. There are two kids left on this tour de force, and both sound like they'd make excellent friends. Time to go full on easy mode here. You've heard so much about this guy, you feel like you got this one in the goddamn bag. With confidence, you zap yourselves onward. What am I looking at? Oh, you're already here. Wherever here is, it's not blistering. It is blistering hot. You not instantly regret your choice of apparel. Why'd you instinctively put your hoodie back on over this robe? Gown? You the mailman or male person? Also, hello, Demon Zuri. Hello, Corn Dog. I'm already excited to see what words Dave decides to throw at our face. This must be Dave. Rose mentioned he talked a lot, and as you start to explain, it becomes apparent he is having this conversation at you, not with you. Wow, it is unbelievably humid. Person adjacent. Anyway, Egbert told me you'd show up eventually, which I never doubted for a second, since one of the core tenets of the United States Postal Service is that you visit four extremely specific and spread out teenagers while sweating all over yourself. Practically a crime to not be increasingly moist while over here delivering letters on the roof of a skyrise, which, as you know, is the most effective and legal way to drop off the post. Claimer than a New England potluck and wandering around on the roof with no package. It is actually really cool how much this kid seems to talk at you, but you are barely listening. Has the sun always been that red? Has the sky always been that wavy? Are you alright? You are hardly alright. You tug at the collar of your soggy mess of a hoodie. This is an overwhelmingly oppressive heat. An almost impenetrable air fills your lungs as you try and take a series of shallower and shallower breaths. The world fades to whites. There's computer. There's Game Bro. The cow. When you wake up, you're sitting popped up on a cheap futon in front of a large television. A rough approximation of a person does an elaborate series of controlled falls, culminating in what you can only describe as skateboarding for assholes. On your left, Dave exists in a quantum state that is both somehow sitting and laying down, but also neither. With the precision of a Swiss watchmaker, he deftly presses a series of buttons that makes the awful Polygon Man on screen T-pose and fall face forward into the ground. Is this just a skate game? I do like how big they made Dave's eyebrows. They didn't need to do that, but they did do that. Seconds later, his skateboard flops helplessly next to him. He doesn't look away from the screen as he speaks. So, I guess you lived. It's not that I'm invested, but John might be sad. Classic John. You try and emulate his incredibly casual body language as you slide your body down the futon. Your legs already barely reach the ground. Yeah, that guy's a dork, but I taught him everything he knows. You ask him if he taught him how to be a dork. Let's see, 1 second. You affect a completely uninterested face as though the sickness of your third-degree burn is not the single most exciting moment of your entire life. God damn. Owned in my own home. Owned within an inch of my life. I'm on the edge, reaching out with that hand of friendship, and this chucklehead, long live the king's me. Thousands of gazelles trample my useless body as Jonathan Taylor Thomas persona watches on. Who will raise Simba now? Who's gonna teach him about combat, philosophy, life? By the way, I put your nasty sweatshirt in the shower. Hello, heavy man. I'm gonna assume dope. You are definitely the sort of person that says dope often casually. You tell him dopely that you are a person who is not caught up in the small details of decorum or personal propriety. In fact, it doesn't bother you at all that he took your only worldly possessions and tossed them in a shower while you were unconscious. What's some light corpse looting among bros? Okay. While it dries, you can wear one of my bros' shirts. He usually has a fresh stash hidden in here. Dope, tight, sick. Nothing weird about hiding some shirts in the living room. Just gonna have a look-see. Holy shit, there are a lot of puppets in here. Yep. Yeah. Dude, puppets own. Enough said. My bro's got the market cornered on puppet-based endeavors. Backed up against the wall like a feral beast hissing for more plush-orientated content. Little guy's probably just scared. Just wants to protect its nest and mouth-to-mouth feeds babies only the choicest puppet smut for a reasonable fee. What the fuck does any of that mean? You look back to Dave, but he's on his phone. God damn, that is so cool, actually. There's something weird about this whole setup that you just can't put your finger on. For one, you can't seem to find any secret shirts anywhere. It's all just puppets and plushies and DJ equipment. Oh my. Yeah, with my bro, you have to think of the potential for ironic payoff. That guy's always one step ahead. Just when you think you've got it figured out, it was all just some trap to make you think you got his goat. But that goat is long gone. Makes you think maybe there's never was a goat. Maybe it was some other barnyard animal all along. You've been duped into looking for a goat like some dumb asshole. Or maybe the goat gets you really subvert the whole thing. You take a second to wonder if he is really using the term ironic correctly in this instance. By dictionary definition, yes. A goat getting you is the opposite of how the situation should go. Thank God you settled that. As you are about to reassure Dave that this joke tracks, you catch some movement in the corner of your eye. Is that a camera? It couldn't have possibly been a camera. Oh, nope. There it is again. There is a camera coming out of the ice dispenser. It whirls softly as you approach, its mechanical eye trained on you. How long has this thing been watching you? Is this Dave's? You lean in and take a closer look, but your foot catches on something. You fall flat on your face. Dave seems too engrossed in the conversation he's having on his phone to pay you much mind, occasionally mumbling something out loud a few times before presumably typing it out. You search for whatever it was that made you beef it so royally. You know, beef it, like fall down. That is a real phrase that humans say. A small tripwire stands taut, a few inches off the ground. You must not have disturbed it enough to set off whatever contraption it's apparently attached to. Oh yeah, sometimes they're more of a psych out. You think, oh, fuck me, I definitely beefed it, which is a phrase that is real. And you sit there waiting on bated breath, prepared to be fucking deep in velvety marionette dick. And it never comes. You go the rest of your day just waiting for the payoff for your dipshit mistake, when it never comes. You wake up in a cold sweats for weeks, yearning for a release that'll never find you, and it hits you. You've been fucking bamboozled by the master yet again. There's no elaborate booby trap. No Rube Goldberg device set to enact a series of complicated shenanigans, ultimately resulting in being buried alive in current frog's plus amphibious dong. I forget. On the fridge, is that Sweet Bro? Is that Hella Jeff? Also, I see Jigsaw. What fun. Let's see, what's that on the left? Oh. It's a weird ass Jigsaw. On the fridge. That's Sweet Bro, I think. Okay. Beautiful, really. Damn, bro, you live like this? I mean, yeah, I guess. Keeps me on my toes. Heels never even met the ground. A prima ballerina with a head full of dreams and nothing to lose. God's gift of plies, ripping a straight tasty tour and layer for my adoring fans. They go apeshit for this sort of thing, but it's just another day in the life for denier extraordinaire Dave Strider. Haven't fallen for a trap like that since I was a baby. Trained. Real rookie mistake, mailman looking tired maybe. Drained. Oh my god, is he mumble rapping at you? This is the greatest. This is the greatest day of your life. Got more plush ass than a puppet lost and found. King Shredder drops the illest fires, cause heavy is the crown. Rhyming puppet with puppet. Call that puppet rhymes. Killing all ventriloquists. Puppet on puppet crimes. He goes on like this for some time with what could be described as bars or a similar caliber. The narrative focus shifts to your inner thoughts out of necessity, because it turns out writing raps is really hard. He isn't exactly great, but you're not really a rap expert, despite that your social media opinions might imply. Unless you count Hatch to Dance, which of course you do. Why wouldn't you? Because you don't remember, unless you're starting to. Wait. Yeah, he's starting to get it back. Wait. What does that mean? Why did you think that? The whole scenario feels a little weird and familiar to you. All these kids feel familiar to you? You learned something new about David, and you feel like you already sort of knew it. You can't place it. Despite having met Dave no less than half an hour ago, something feels just slightly off about him. Something about his actions feels so performative in nature. Like he's pantomiming in front of an audience. As Dave continues to rap, you remember that you are in front of an audience. You cast a glance over to the camera, but also to the hundreds of stuffed little creatures staring at you with their lifeless eyes. And Mystery Revelation, we check back in on Dave because I'm getting paid to write this, so I should probably make the fucking jokes already. Match my tool, I'm the ace. Hardware. Got more hoes than the gardener. Yard care. Nice. The chaotic and surreal energy of this scene sends a shock of nervous energy down your spine. You feel alarmingly nude without the comfort and familiarity and warmth of your sweater. There's something about it that grounded you. Something that felt like home. Dave concludes his masterpiece with an elaborate series of yas and ahs, just as you see the camera turn away from him, never ever so slightly to focus on something else, before retreating back into the ice dispenser. It almost makes it look a little bashful. Kind of adorable, actually. Despite the fanfic you've written in your head about a cool kid and his new robot best friend, the reality of the situation sets in. You have yet to make friends with this character, and it all has kind of felt surreal and weird to you. Maybe it's time to zap back and hard reset this continuity to try again. What does that mean? Feels like I'm missing an important part of the puzzle here. Oh, did he hear that? How does this work exactly? Sometimes you just narrate what you're thinking. Kind of a baller move. Just the idea that he's just saying this to us deadpan. Why has no one called you out on this before now? Put your hand on the counter to stabilize yourself, and your fingers brush up against something clad in Destiny polo. Just barely poking out of some beneath a pile of discount plush nobodies is a neatly retailed folded shirt. He did mention he felt naked about the hoodie, so... But I could see the shirt. I could strangely see the shirt being needed later on. We're gonna go back and see options anyways. We'll wear the shirt. Obviously, you're gonna put the shirt on. You don't want to be the only one not wearing a cool shirt. Do you need some privacy? I'm not sure where one layer of you ends and the other begins. Doubt the audience cares. What? Oh, yes, being on camera like this is sort of fucking whack, you say. So poignantly, your sprite even shows up on screen for a second. Yeah, that's right. We went all out for this one. You were wondering if there was a place here that wasn't under constant surveillance? Like, how does this kid take a shit in peace? You know everyone's thinking about it. Dope line of questioning that I'm sure the public at large is eager to know the answer to, but my room isn't wired up, no. About to get you fired up, though. Menageries multiplying with maybe not the second. Alright, damn. You accompany Dave down the hallway to his room. You hear the shower on as you pass the bathroom, and you peek in to see your hoodie and nice gown on the tile being uselessly wetted by a low-pressure steam. You're welcome, by the way. Thanks, Dave. I'm assuming with how hot it is, it'll dry itself out, but it's also humid, so I don't know what the fucking Dave is thinking right now. Ah. Dave motions you to go in first, giving you the privacy you need to change into an extremely starched polo shirt and nothing else. This collar will not go down. This is obviously what someone in 2009 would think is fresh as hell. You look around the room for a bit. There are so many things in here. This would be a 13-year-old's wet dream, but to you it's just a little much. It feels like this is a bunch of things someone thinks they should like. Let the fan art reflect that you've put on the shirt at this point. There isn't a mirror in here, but you can tell that this is someone out there. You can tell that this is someone out there's idea of a look. Oh no, the apple juice. The door opens and Dave is standing there, but not walking in. He's just leaning up against the door frame, sipping a juice. Where'd you get a juice? What the fuck? Hallway juice, my guy. Hallway juice. What, you don't keep foodstuff stashed around your house? What do you do when you get hungry? Man, I'm sure that's apple juice. Yeah, of course it is. I mean, he probably opened it up and it was nicely, tightly sealed. No vandalism there whatsoever by some maniacal movie character. No, that's not it. You mean you obviously just keep it in the fridge or whatever. Too obvious. Someone help us. Someone help this useless clown. Your sure day is that you have met many clowns in your day, and only some of them were useless. Well, the ones we made friends with were not useless, but I could see definitely in the fucking church, though. He just saw a lot of people just kind of being there. A lot of clowns just being there. Name one. Kakarot. Fucking say Kakarot. You can't. Why'd you say that? Clowns are awful. Everyone knows this. Guess it got you there. You know, despite the overwhelmingly plush decor of the rest of the house, there's a distinct lack of puppets in here. That's more my bros thing. Not that they aren't deliriously sick. Just a whole hospital ward full of the illest children you've seen. Each one more up to pup than the last. Up to pup? Yeah, pup. Like puppets. Marvis. Was Marvis the one that was actually really cool? Kakarot's the first one that came to mind just because I could not remember his actual name and I always just called him Kakarot. Also, isn't he the one that hated Zebra so much? Oh, yeah, no, Marvis was the GOAT. He was great. I still truly believe that Marvis was mitigating the situation as best he could in Hive Swap Act 2. He knew what they're going to be like, but he gave our character the best chance to overcome it. Because he never asks. Well, whatever he presents him, he always just takes as facts. So it's going to be interesting seeing in Act 3. I'm just going to assume it's coming out. I just don't know when. I'm just going to assume it is, though. I'm going to assume Marvis may have an idea of the greater plot at hand and what needs to happen. Or he's just a really cool guy. It would be interesting if Marvis was almost like a guide to us. And that is what his role is going to be for the later acts. Who is guiding him? We can only take guesses. Well, regardless. You're going to be honest. It doesn't really seem like his heart's in it. How do you mean? Well, it's just that he doesn't really seem to be all into puppets. Feels a little performative. Well, I guess I got my own stuff I'm into. Like, if I were to rank it 1 to 10, I'd probably say puppets are probably a solid 7. You got this kid on the ropes. Just one more push. In fact, even go as far as say the puppet thing sort of sucks. It is extremely weird. The cameras, the hiding things like an animal. All seems a little, whack. For a while, he just seems to look at you almost as if he's sizing you. Oh. That's just so funny to me. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone's taller than our character. Even though in Friend Sim, even then I think a lot of the trolls were taller than us. Only Kakarot was shorter than us. Trolls are definitely bigger than us. But I think a lot of the trolls are just only slightly taller than us. And then I think of the image they gave us, like, Dave's taller than this, and I just like the idea. I'm not really considering it like lore accurate height or whatever. It's like saying Vegeta's the same height as Astolfo in the same way. Let's not get into it. But it is like this teenager. Just look at him. I could take him in a fight, and no one's gonna say no. It's just like, yeah, you probably could. Yeah, you're like 13. Yeah, you probably beat this guy up. You don't need to size him up. There's a long stretch where Dave doesn't break eye contact to you as he finishes his cute little juice and crumbles it up. He takes an ambitious shot at the trash can and misses by about 7.5 feet. Dave, are you gonna break the irony or? Damn, I could have swore I had game. You're throwing me off, mailman. Yes, this is correct. You are a faithful employee of the Postal Service. I mean, I definitely believe you, but let's say I didn't. Let's say I had a cool friend who, even though they're too cool to care about details like this, they were a little skeptical of this whole conversation. Maybe they'd want some proof you were who they said that you were before they let you get in closer to their friends. Just throwing out that hypothetical there. What proof could he possibly need? Say the oath. Ah, yes, the mailman oath. What? The oath. The mail oath. Oh, look, the thing about that is, I mean, unless you aren't really a mailman. Behind his sunglasses, Dave's eyes shift ever so slightly to what you might describe in a less immediately harrowing situation as a moderately priced looking male katana mounted to his wall. You realize that maybe now isn't the best time to come clean with your impeccable ruse. You can't believe you have to manage to put yourself in mortal peril yet again. You wordlessly chuckle and shake your head. All the situations you get yourself into. Dave, not privy to your private thoughts for once, looks on. Why, of course you can recite the mailman's oath. You say it with confidence that is as misplaced as it is unfounded. You perk up. Now's your time to shine. Maybe it's the popped collar, but you are feeling good about this one. You got this. You've lied to a ton of kids. One more and it will be smooth sailing from here on out. You open your mouth and there's a brief moment where everything feels like it's going to be okay. You immediately start sobbing and crumple into a disgusting mess on the floor. Fuck. Oh, wow. Okay. Jesus Christ. You're not a real mailman. You never were. You don't even have a real mailman outfit. You're a fraud. You don't even know how much stamps cost. Oh my God. Jesus, just... okay, it's gonna be all right there. Dave squats down next to your deflated body and pats you a little awkwardly on what he assumes is your shoulder. Man, I'm fucking locked in. I got this shit. All right. You know, I think if he did this on Alternia, I think he would have lived. I see only a few trolls kill him immediately. A lot of them would be like, either, oh, why, oh, what do they call it? They have some weird phrase for crying. The other half would be like, oh, you are just adorable while whimpering. You're the best. You say you're sorry you tricked him, but you just wanted to impress him because John said he was so cool. It's fine, I guess. Fuck, dude. Get a hold of yourself. He tries to get you up, but you are desperately clinging to his shirt, confessing everything, confessing to made-up crimes you didn't even commit. Look, my guy, we, I think we're truly throwing Dave off his game. Like, with the I forget if any of the trolls could really, like, mess up his flow early on with their trolling attempts. Like, Dave just went with it for most of it. And, like, his friends, they don't really throw him off kilter. I think at this point, we're one of the few people who've just completely botched Dave's game. where he's just he's literally winging it. I mean, he's usually winging it with like the things he says, but usually they come out pretty good, you know? It's very comedic, and or he'll take the mistake and make some quip out of it. Well, I think we truly have Dave flustered, where he just doesn't know what the fuck to do. We all make mistakes. Please stop whatever this is. I'm pretty sure you are harmless. Yeah. We've been in a few fights, but it was the trolls doing the heavy lifting. Yeah, I'm pretty sure anytime we've been in a snow, well, I think we've heard a few trolls, but like they were low bloods, or yeah, lower on the totem pole trolls. And I don't think you actually killed anyone with your ass or whatever, an accessory to burn down an alien mall or whatever insane shit you just said. Did we burn down an alien mall? I'm trying to remember if any... I don't think any quote-unquote true ends. Yes. Which one did that happen for? Oh, it was one of the Jades. I'm trying to think. The Daria parody. And then who'd we kill for ass? I want to say that was one of the Ceruleans or one of the Blue Bloods. I think that was one of the bad ends too, where we accidentally killed someone for ass and we're just like, huh. Give me a second, I'm gonna, let's see. It's funny, he says he makes these up, but of course he's just pulling back from the memories he doesn't have. Yeah, you kind of got caught in the moment and just started saying made up shit. Yes, Dave, he's mad at you. Nah, dude, get up. Dave helps you back onto your feet. You come clean in an only slightly more controlled and dignified way this time. Explain how there are these huge gaps in your memory and that you somehow ended up with these abilities that let you traverse space, time, and sometimes even reality itself. Dave doesn't say much for a change, and it doesn't seem like he's listening at first, but you think maybe he just has one of those faces. Let me get this straight. One day you just appeared in the suburb. No memories except that you have some mysterious teleportation power. You dig through some unsuspecting chump's mail looking for clues, and through some ridiculous universal happenstance, you just so happen to stumble upon the most gullible fucking dork in the universe. Befriend him. Also, I'm there via text. Egbert gives you a list of friends to visit. Out of all the choices available to you, myself included, you go see Rose first. Rose fucking Lalonde. Even though we built up such a good rapport when I told John you weren't a real mailman. Called it, by the way. Your first instinct is to visit the most heavy-handed out of all of us for some light kinship. A power move, I guess. Mailman out here wave dashing your friendship. Can't even spare a neutral A for old Strider, huh? Can't even spare a neutral A for old Strider, huh? Won't even back into the corner and spam your ranged attack for the D-man. A tragedy is 2 acts. Both acts are tilted betrayal. You definitely don't You definitely understand what is being said, and absolutely don't have to ask your friend what some cool video game words are. You are 100% not pulling the bullet. How do you do, fellow kids the world has ever seen? Besides, is that really the thing to be focusing on right now? You fucking wound me, mailman. Of course it is. Nothing is more important to me than this. They say that most humans only use 10% of their brain. That's because I'm using 90% of it to think. How dare you? I love the words you say, Mr. Strider Man. So anyway, can you really go anywhere? See anyone you want? Sounds nice. For all but a moment, the act drops and you see the corners of his mouth tiny little. The fading afternoon light flitters through his sunglasses at just enough an angle to see his eyes shift ever so slightly towards the window. These subtle movements would surely be lost on most. If you weren't so focused on trying to read him, or even just slightly further away, you may have missed it yourself. There was almost a loneliness in his voice. It must be hard to live here by yourself, so far away from the people who care about you. It's possible that you've been so focused on trying to blindly make friends that you've forgotten that in front of you is a real living person. You can't help but wonder if there's something you can do. You said you can take people with you, right? Like, if you could teleport John around, would that work with anybody? This is it. The path to this kid's heart is clear as day. Fuck what you just said just now. That friendship juice is so close you can practically fucking taste it. You try not to look excited, affecting Dave's cool persona as you say, fuck yeah, you can take people with you, and just go about your fingernails because, for some reason, that is what you do when you're acting cool. This works to the full extent it can, coming from someone who not but 7 minutes and 32 seconds earlier was rolling around on the floor, damp with their own tears. Did he have someplace in mind? Yeah, I mean, I got some ideas I could bounce off you, I guess. How do you feel about... With a swift finger to his mouth, you cut up... No, you dumb fuck! He doesn't seem to like that very much, but you still consider it a successful maneuver. There's no need for words between friends. You know just where he wants to go. Just think really hard about it. Think about where you want to be, Dave. Think about it. Think about what is important to you. Think about what you really want. It'll be more magical this way. Friendship is magical after all. You just made that up right now. Don't look it up. I really hope we're about to get my favorite ending in this entire series. Damn, guess that's true. Close his eyes and you put a hand on his shoulder. This is it. Putting your trust in the magic of friendship, you focus this power externally as much as you are able. Flashes of distant but somehow familiar imagery course through you. The quiet stillness of the suburb, the smell of the forest, the heat of an apartment rooftop, the ocean breeze. You extend it outwards as much as you are able. This is his rodeo. You are merely the vehicle. What the fuck? Oh, fuck yes. The two of you stand near a sign that says, please wait to be seated. A very cheery hostess has a brief exchange with Dave and ushers the two of you to an open table. Oh, hell fucking yes. There's no mistaking it. About to get my motherfucking breadstick on. This is absolutely an Olive Garden. Fuck yeah, it is. When you're here, you're family, dog. While you're still new to this, you can't really seem to detect any irony in his voice. You thought for sure he'd want to go see his friends. You thought you had him figured out. First and last mistake, mailman. But you'll learn. I'm a mystery. Got that history. Fucked with the plot, my flow's so hot they leave you looking blistery. Racially ambiguous, my rhyme's contagious. At the OG of my homie where the breadsticks are continuous. You don't know what the fuck it... You know what? Fuck it. You just let him go on for a while. You don't even know if that's the last one rhyme, but fuck. If you aren't charmed by this little bastard, You lean back in your chair and just absorb it all, sitting in the worst restaurant imaginable with your new rapping teen friend while the other patrons do their best to ignore his incredible rhymes. After a short while, Dave abruptly stops freestyling, and you open your eyes. Oh fuck, you know what time it is? No, your Sprite doesn't have a watch drawn on it. It's breadstick 30, no watch necessary. Fuck me, I love breadsticks. I never talk about it. This is a very real and hidden character trait that nobody knows about me. Well, that does sound like a very real and hidden character trait that nobody knows about him. And we are certainly not finding this out now because of a series of seemingly unrelated events that possibly change the continuity of this universe, allowing these sort of otherwise narratively unimportant traits to shine through. Wow, he's really going to town on those breadsticks. Maybe this is all friendship needs to be. Spending some quality FaceTime with a solid bro and just absolutely decimating some bottomless breadsticks at a bad chain Italian restaurant. Maybe the real lesson here is friendship doesn't have to be a grand gesture at high adventure. Maybe the real friends. I understand you were having a moment, but I am absolutely going to eat your breadsticks if you don't stop talking about what friendship means to you. Yeah, man. Whatever you want. Get that bread, son! So we managed to get Demon Zuri's favorite ending first. They're both just crying, having a great time. That is so fucking funny. Chum roll. The happiest girl in the world, Bread Gotten. You and Dave sampled ambrosia. I wonder. Yeah, we'll see what the other endings are looking like. All right, the shower. What, the shower? Yeah, it smelled, so I tossed it in there. Ran the hot water. You can thank me later. Won't someone need that? You don't want to put anyone out. You've already taken up so much of their hospitality. Also, you don't think that's how you're supposed to wash clothes. Nah, my bro's out for a while. It happens sometimes. Probably puppet related. He avoids the laundry minefield by opting for the nuclear option. Though you guess that makes sense, there are a lot of puppets around, which strikes you as extremely normal and reasonable and not even a little whack. Yeah, puppets rule, end of story. Shit, close the book on that one. Time for Betty Bye, kid. Little man about to get his 8 to 10 on snug as a bug in a little fucking rug. Tucked the fuck in, tight as can be on his way to Slumberland. Nemo, who never fucking heard of him. Shit, hold on. He sits up to fish something out of his pocket. Oh, a phone. He gets a phone from his pocket. You're not sure what you were thinking. As a perfectly normal human being with 100% real and tangible Earth, you know what a cell phone is. What is that, a first gen? Yikes. He ignores your jab and you pretend not to be reading over his shoulder, though it probably could not be more obvious that you are. Hi, did you get to meet the mailman? My guy, we have gone over this time and time again. How do I put this to you in terms you can understand? Have you ever met a mailman in your life? Even in that shitty Costner flick you love, the dude has the decency to at least wear the outfit. Huh, I knew you watched it. No, I never waste my precious time watching even a single one of the Z-list garbage you try to wreck me. I'm just stating stone cold facts. I just read an outline and browsed a few review sites to see what people are saying. I don't know, it sounds like you probably took a lot more time and effort than just watching the movie itself. What I'm saying is that this isn't a mailman. I didn't even think this is a person. You have thrust a person-style entity into my life under the alluring guise of parcel delivery, which, if I'm understanding, Right? This clown isn't even very good on the account of how bad they bungled the only delivery that mattered. At least Lalonde had the good sense to be skeptical of this absolute fucking tomfoolery. Don't be a dick. A mailman is cool. John, I can't stress this enough. You wouldn't know cool if it bit you right in the ass. Can you imagine? No. The dopest person you've ever met chomping away. Just really getting up in there. Ice cold and ear deep in a king's feast of ass. What the hell are you talking about? Try to keep up, Egbert. This will be on the... He looks uncharacteristically startled as he glances back in your direction to find you only a few inches away, adamantly reading his private conversation with a friend. Jesus Christ, you're like a cat. How? How much of that did you see? You definitely didn't see him having a playfully flirtatious chat with a longtime friend, if that's what he's asking you. Dave desperately tries to refocus on his game hijinks. He makes his character, who you can see he has named Tony Cock, do what can be described as some insane flips and shit. Masterful. There's nothing at all flirtatious about two bros discussing eating ass. What? Just being straight as two arrows who are also straight. I mean, how would that even work? It wouldn't. That's how. That's all there really is to say about that. You reassure him that it is okay to be honest with him about his feelings. You're not here to judge him. John seems very nice. They would be cute together. Together. Like... like how? Yep, our character is overstepping. No, don't tell me. I actually don't give a single shit about this line of thought. You might not have picked up on this, but I'm definitely 100% not a homosexual. Pretty much crawling in moist, voluptuous hose on the regular. Wait, hose are real? Hell yeah. And they're damp? Shit, it's like I gotta start at square one with this hapless asshole. What school did you go to? The utter astonishment you feel at this earth-shattering revelation sends your consciousness for a spin. You manage to steel yourself. This isn't your first tough customer. You tell Dave that hose is a gender-neutral term. Anyone can be a hoe if they believe in themselves. Hoe-like behavior knows no limits, no master. Despite just learning they were real mere moments ago, you were confident this is a hoe confident that to be a hoe is to be free. Oh, that's pretty dope, I guess. It's not. It's not like I've never thought of it. I mean, for the ironic payoff, obviously. I want to go back to the Olive Garden. Can you imagine the look on his face? His best bro coming up to him with some dire news. For the bit, you know? Yeah, exactly. I look up at him, eyes red of tears, as I put a hand on his shoulder and say, John, not to alarm you, but I'm gay now. Your clueless dipshit wiles have finally won me over. No, that sucks. His speech has become even quicker than normal as he stands and paces frantically around the apartment, completely abandoning his poor Tony. I mean... I remember seeing this screenshot, I think, for Pesterquest. I was wondering like what was going to bring that about. And it's this. It's this conversation. And this is purely hypothetical. If I liked anyone, which I don't on account of being too fucking smooth to tie myself down, it would probably be another one of my friends. You don't know her. She's not from around here. So that basically means I can't have a thing for John. Case closed. By unanimous decision, the jury finds in favor of the defendant, me. It seems like he's got a lot to think about, and maybe this is a little heavy for the first meeting. You already feel emotionally exhausted. No fucking way we're in this for the... No fucking way. We're in here for the long haul, partner. We are entrenched in this shit. You and me are fighting on the front lines of isn't he World War One? Troops are spilling over the embankment, armed to the teeth with various literature and pamphlets. I'm already learning so much about myself. Oh. Is that good? The enemy is at the gates of my sexuality, and our air support is nowhere to be seen. If I don't make it, tell my wife or maybe husband I died like I lived. Completely baller in every conceivable way. This conversation train has not just gone off the rails, but is crashing headfirst into the nearest village. Just some unsuspecting hamlet fallen prey to this out-of-control ride. This is no longer a conversation you may have a say in. You desperately look around the room for anything else to talk about. So, puppets, right? No. You fucked up, mailman. You opened the floodgates of introspection. We are balls deep in the discourse waters, and there's nobody to blame but yourself. He stops pacing and looks contemplative. His voice lowers to a mumble. Is he still talking to you? Does he still want to talk about this or not? It is nearly impossible to tell. I honestly forgot how much of a hard time he has in this ending. Now, okay, hear me out. Do I have to come up with a gay name now, or can I still be Dave? I'm thinking Gabe, but let's not kid ourselves. That's the amateur choice. Obviously, my full title would be Gabe Strider Dick Rider. I understand he's going through it. I just... These fucking lines, man. Okay, that's enough. There has got to be a better way than this. You are so tired. Abscond. That is how he copes. Actually, you think you're fine as it is. No reason to shake it up for another outfit. We'll have to eventually pay someone to draw. Let's take a second. Reel it in for a little bit. What the fuck is going on here? Isn't this like really messed up? No, what's messed up? Is this how you deny my hospitality like this? Offer you someone else's property that you have to find hid among countless lifeless puppet corpses, and this is the thanks I get? Real cold, mailman. Damn, maybe I'll wear the shirt to protect me from this chill. Okay, enough. Like, why isn't he in school? It's the middle of April. It's spring break, bro. Besides, I only subscribe to the School of Hard Knocks. Also, several YouTube channels and periodicals. So, pretty sweet deal over here, actually. You know he isn't really like this. You know he doesn't like living like this. Oh, damn, is that true? What am I like? Apparently we got the foremost expert in Dave lore here. PhD in Strider Dynamics. It's the first day of school, and I'm here in class, eager to learn. Got my pencil out. Got my freshest fit on. Got my dope new Trapper Keeper with the Lisa Frank dolphins on it. Look at them. On there, they're smiling like assholes. One blue, one pink, so we know it's not gay. Poor bastards don't know there's a cartoon. Saddest story I ever heard. The little camera switches its focus from Dave back to you, gauging your reaction. Ignoring it, you assert that you're trying to say you know him, just that what? Okay, clearly you struck some sort of nerve here, but no, we're good. Tell me more about my situation. You really have been spending time with Rose, haven't you? Got me all figured out. Don't worry, if you gotta look at the Wikipedia articles for abandonment issues or whatever, I can't wait. Despite how flat his voice is coming out, his body language has made a telltale shift. He's staying laid up against the back of the futon. His hands are in his pocket. It would almost seem like he was sulking if you weren't so convinced he wanted to kick your ass. At the edge of your vision, you sense some movement. You didn't catch it exactly, but you're convinced it was there. Cal. You look over there, and there's nothing to be seen. Perhaps another hidden camera? There's something unsettling about being watched this whole time. There it is again. Every now and then, your eyes catch the faintest presence of something moving just out of sight. The whole place feels like it's faintly shifting around. Amid scanning the room, a particularly fucked up looking puppet catches your attention. These little shits are everywhere. This awful little man stares, stops your heart for just a moment. Its cold eyes pierces you. Its plastered smile judges you. You look at it as briefly as possible, if for no other reason than to note how unsettling it is before looking back at Dave. What the fuck? What? Oh, that's just Cal. Cal's the realist. He certainly seems real to you. You could have sworn he just moved on his own. Yeah, man, he just does that. Don't think about it too hard. See? This is what you mean. It's not that... Well... Look, I know you got some hero complex or something. You're gonna swoop in and save these kids from themselves. Well, bad news, kid. That's not what this is, and heroes aren't real. John, I understand, but fooling Rose too? The insane tricks this guy must have pulled. Davis shifted his weight forward. While his voice has not risen above a low mumble, this is enough of a tell to know that maybe you should back off. This friendship thing is tougher than you thought. You're still on about that, huh? Look, I'm no expert on friendship. Mine's the fact that I absolutely am. But you ever think maybe coming to someone's home and fucking with their day-to-day life is a little rude? Just hypothetical. As per normal, I'm stone cold unbothered by this turn of events. A stoic bastion in this... You're sorry, but did he just say stoic? What? Yeah. Stoic, like unmoved. Does he mean stoic? I mean, I guess. Aw, Pease, you've done it now. You weren't trying to embarrass... Ah, jeez. You try and comfort him by saying it's okay if he's never heard anyone else say the word before. Maybe he's only seen it in text. He frowns and goes quiet. This does not seem to be helping. The kid is completely shut off now. You try and bring up the puppet skin? No dice. You don't pretend to be jazzed. Super jazzed about Cal or whatever his name was. Somehow shadow stepping across the apartment. Wow, so cool. Nothing. Dave takes out his phone and begins texting. Ah, is that about you? Oh, Beans, he's telling your new friends how much you beefed it. This could ruin everything. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and this is the most desperate time you can recall. Oh, friendship is on the line. Cal continues to phase in and out like a poorly animated anime character, moving so fast you can't keep up. You take a few steps towards Dave. You got to get him out of here, and you know just where to take him. About half a second into your stealth mission, you constantly step onto a puppet, and it makes a pathetic squeak. Dave stops for a second, but after a few moments returns to texting at the speed of sound to whoever it is on the other end. Cheese and crackers, you can hear the notification sounds popping off. Whoever it is responding back. You can't waste any more time. You teleport to him as silently as you can. Besides you, Cal's disgusting limp body flops haphazardly on top of a shelf. Guess he's done? No time for this. You slowly reach out your hand. Time to get out of here and fix this. A large adult hand grabs you by the wrist. You turn to see it belongs to a muscular man in pointy sunglasses who you wouldn't exactly describe as a twink and not exactly a hunk, but most certainly not a bear either. In fact, why don't we talk about it for several hours? Oh, shit. Before you begin your extremely important debate, you are flung unceremoniously out of a high-rise apartment complex window. As you free fall, you think, maybe he was more of a twunk. I'm assuming that was Dirk. good to know that if something were to ever, so before the whole game thing started, if someone were to make Dave that upset, Dirk would come in, or at least that version of Dirk. And then again, I think Epilogue's really screwed the pooch. That's all I'm gonna say. Homestuck 2 is really trying to correct course, but I like Dirk. I like his characterization in the original. One kid left, that's right. Jade. That's going to be an interesting one to see how we fuck up that one. Also, the fact that we need to either we're going to see her dream self or her real self. I forget what they call the dream self or whatever, what planet they're on. But I'm assuming. No, I think Rose talked to Jade, and Jade was awake this time. But then again, we don't know how long we spend with each kid, so we will see. I like this episode. Saiyan Mobile Gaming, hello. Hope you're having a good day. I do like that Dave just wanted to go to the Olive Garden. Well, unfortunately, I just finished stream. I was giving my thoughts on what I just played. But yes, I was playing Pesterquest. We went through Dave's routes. And I'm not going to act like I understand Dave at all and what he does. Like, I understand he deflects a lot, never really tries to go for the issue. But I guess he knew that just because the mailman could teleport, he could see his friends, that wouldn't solve anything. So why not just go to the next best thing, somewhere that'd make you happy, which is the Olive Garden. Because, I get to meet my friends, but I only get to do it through the mailman, so it's not really a point. He likes his friends and breadsticks. He does. Dirk is a character I can just understand. Like, I might have to reread a few things, but I'm pretty sure I understand Dirk better than I understand Dave. Because Dirk is literally just a man who wants to take on all the burdens of the world for his friends, so they don't have to worry about anything. Dirk's more open about his feelings too, just has less control about it. Yep. Because he's the Prince of Hearts or something. Corners told me something about that. Man, Dirk. I understand Dirk's mindset. It was just never going to work out, though. Not how the world was. And even then, it still wouldn't. Because, why does he put up... Why does he do this all for Dave? To potentially, worst case scenario, get him ready in case he ever needs a fight. And he can't be there. But the idea was that Big Brother would always be able to take care of what happens next. But in the back of his head, there was that fear of him not being able to. So he still trained Dave. Which I really like. I really like that. Where Dave talks about how overbearing, how over-controlling his Dirk was. Because there's nothing really to, I guess, ground him. I forgot what I was about to say. I literally just had, and I forgot what I was about to say. No, that as adamant as his Dirk was on doing things the way he wanted to, he still trained Dave. He still wanted Dave to have strength. So I really like that. That here's this person who's absolutely adamant on his way, but there's still that idea of what if things go wrong, because he was a prepper and he did have plans upon plans. It's just interesting that he had one for what if I'm not there. And then we see the Dirk of Scratched, post-Scratch, learn in real time things aren't going to go his way. That he can't be the Shadow Mind or Shadow Master, whatever he called himself. Take care of things while everyone else just does what they need to do. No, he actually had to work together with people. He couldn't be the one-man carry. All right. I really like Dirk. Dave is just fun. Dave is really funny to me. He's also very interesting, but Dave will do what Dave does. All right. So that'll be it for me for this week. I don't think there can be any other streams. So we'll continue this next week as we do Jade. I don't know what else we're going to do next week. We'll see. But yeah. I had fun in this chapter. It was a great one. That ending was just so funny. It's like, nah, man, when you hear your family and just starts devouring those breadsticks. The only thought that came to mind was, how are they going to pay for them? Also, it was very interesting to see other people. Like, that's something when I was first reading Homestuck was you never see anyone else really, just like the parents and the kids. You don't really see any of the civilians. Breadsticks used to be free at Olive Garden. Now don't you have to pay like $9.99 or whatever for unlimited soup and salad and the breadsticks? Might be a bit more now with everything going on. I only recently visited an Olive Garden. I think about 8 months ago. And then I went there like another 2 times. It was good. I liked it. I did load up on a whole bunch of salad and breadsticks though when I went, because we did do that deal. Alright, everyone. That'll be it for me for today. I have to head to work in a bit, so I'm going to get ready for that. So everyone, thank you for coming. Have a good rest of your day and or evening, and I will see you guys next time. And as well, thank you for stopping by. Have a good one. Bye-bye.